Holly, I signed up for Friday's Historic Commission thing with Chris Kelly.
Oh, awesome. Glad to hear it.
I learned something I know that I need to know. I'm looking also for our agenda.
Yeah, I should do that on my other thing.
All right, Holly, I just need about 25 seconds.
Sounds good. Ready when you are.
All right.
Are we waiting for Caroline or Angus?
Angus is here.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Well, we're trying. All right. Right, I have the agenda in front of me. Ahem. All right, as a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley, permitted to confirm all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me for the Sconset Advisory Board meeting, which is today, and that's August 24th, 2020. When I call your name, please answer. Caroline Ellis. I don't hear Caroline Ellis. That's okay. Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes, present.
Angus McLeod.
Here.
All right. Clement Durkees.
Here.
And Rob Benchley is here for the most part. Good morning. This open meeting of the Sconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely in consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings at a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed to encourage or participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable with public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Sconset Advisory Board is convened by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. And this is where my acting coach would say, take a breath. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules and for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members inviting each name but provide any comment, question, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking, and please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair. And each vote that we take in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. That being said, I'll entertain a motion to for the adoption of the agenda, which Holly has up on the screen. And all those in favor, Caroline Ellis is not here. Mary Lathrop will.
In favor.
Thank you. Angus McLeod.
Aye.
Thank you. Clement Durkees.
Yes.
And Rob Benchley, yes. Chair notes unanimous consent for the adoption of the agenda. We'll move right into our old business. We have two items. The first one is Thompson, 73 Baxter Road. And this is for the garage, and there are lots of revisions I see. So here we go. I read the minutes from the last full board meeting, not ours, but the HDC, and there was this discussion of a breezeway, the possibility of a breezeway to connect. I don't see that on the plans, but
Yes, and Mr. Chair, I just want to let you know that Caroline is with us now. Hi, Caroline.
okay, the chair notes and appreciates the arrival of Caroline Ellis. And now we are 5, plus Holly.
It all went in there.
All right. So I think the meeting that the HDC had with Matt on the proposal went really well, and they did appreciate your comments. This is what they're proposing. And I believe this will be on the agenda for tomorrow.
So this is on the HDC agenda for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night?
I believe so, yes. Usually
Okay.
that's how that works, that they submit for old business and we put it on the advisories and for that commission meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Looks like
this is Mary. I think that the east facade looks really good. I agree that it replicates the house, and so I like that. But that's the facade that no one will see because, you know, you can't, other than being in their front yard, you can't get on the bluff walk anymore. I'm curious, from the comments that I read, it looked like everybody but maybe Dawn was behind the idea of keeping that same shed dormer in the back. And that was the one that Matt showed us last time we looked at this. I really liked that, and I miss it now. I like the idea of using the old garage, but I think it looks a little awkward right now on the west facade, that is. So I like the east, I don't like the west.
And just to clarify, Mary, if you don't mind, I'm assuming you meant another member, not Dawn.
Oh, well, let me read the note again. It say, who was the one dissenter?
Might have been.
Was it Val?
Might have been Val.
I have to read my notes more closely. I can't read yours because I can't see that small print. So I'm just blowing it up on my phone right now.
I know
Yeah,
Diane wanted to see the
it was
garage reused.
Sorry.
Yep. Nope. No worries. Just for point of
Yeah,
clarification.
no, clarification. That was good. It was Diane Coombs, exactly. She wants to see the garage reused, and nice concept. I think that's good too. But I just think that I think that the pictures that Matt showed us last week
This.
which had 2 shed dormers, I thought were preferable. One on the east, one on the west. Yeah, that, exactly. I like that west elevation a lot.
Yeah.
So you like the concept better.
Mm-hmm.
They did appreciate your comments about keeping in that the hip. So that was appreciative. I see what you're saying. And I will say, based on what Matt mentioned, when you have the 2D drawings versus this 3D drawings, it definitely loses that feeling, if you will. It's kind of hard to see it 100%, and I'm trying to make it so we can see all of these at the same time. Okay, back to you. Sorry.
No, I think Abby is the one who points out that she liked, what'd she say? She said she feels the gable is forced and should come down. So which gable is she's talking about? Actually, I'm kind of confused by what Abby's saying. So what I'm saying is I like the set of drawings we saw last week that you just had up, Holly.
Let's see.
Holly, is it possible for you to put up the picture that Mary's talking about with the hip?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
scroll down just a little bit more so we can see a frontal as opposed to the 3D. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with Mary on this one as far as I think that the shed dormer probably serves the program better, but I think that it's more appealing than just one big roof plane that faces east.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that works better
Or that faces west, right?
towards the street.
Or the
Yeah.
street.
Right, exactly.
And the hip over the door, I think, responds more to the house, and I think that makes sense.
Then the old garage, which was just a very simple peak, a single peak.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
it looks better. I am.
What happens in this plan, though, is that the old garage becomes well, it just goes away.
Yeah, it really does. But this won't be the first old garage that went away on Baxter Road. I mean, most of them have. Most of them have been updated, shall we say.
Hi, this is Rob. Yes, Mary, that's true. I've forgotten what I was going to say. Anyway, I yield.
In the new proposed plan, there's note saying omit second floor, lower
Yeah.
12 inches. So I'm just wondering why it has to be so high. I mean, that larger roof plane would be, it's signaling use of a second floor. So also there's still a dormer proposed up
On
there.
the east side, on the front, the ocean side.
Which,
Yeah, I don't think they really are eliminating the second floor. I think that it's going to be some kind of a loft that's accessed by stairs. But they haven't shown us that plan. They've taken that second floor plan away.
Right.
I mean, why would they be improving the garage if they're taking away its extra space upstairs?
I mean, if they're really not using the second floor, why can't they just keep the existing structure
Yeah,
and continue to use it? Make it longer if they need to for more capacity, but to keep the original door opening and the original frame of the walls and roof, I think would better address the concern about losing historic fabric and, you know, old structure.
agree.
I mean, if you're going to go to the point as far as what is shown here, the idea of the old garage really becomes a hood ornament for the new building. And,
Right.
And it's kind of token. So, you know, are we going to save the garage? And if we are, let's save it. And if we aren't, yeah, let's look at a new structure that best suits the situation. This is kind of a hybrid, neither here nor there.
To kind of give some context to that, the HDC really and truly would rather see this be moved on the lot or reincorporated. They really are not wanting to see it demolished. So I think this is a compromise of utilizing the existing facade of the original garage to have that.
The reality is they're going to demolish over 50% of it. I mean, that's, from these plans, we can see that only 50% of the original garage is maintained, not even its original door, which isn't original, but yeah,
It's a
Hi,
guess.
this is Rob. I just have a question. So there really is no second floor. Is that correct? And if that's the case, then the dormer on the east, the shed dormer on the east elevation, that's clear story, if that's the right word to use, Angus?
Right,
Yeah.
cathedral ceiling. Yep.
That's all open?
One would assume.
You do that though.
It looks like, if you look in the floor plan, and again, I have not talked to Matt, but it looks like that would be over. No, I'm wrong.
It would be above the French doors to the right in the picture.
Right here.
But it looks like there's only 7 feet of the old garage, if that's kept left.
Right. And a solid wall between it and the,
So 7 feet, 7
So it's
by
not,
14 as a maybe an office area, and that's what we're looking at on the water side, right here with cathedral ceiling. I mean, that's what I'm getting out of it. Maybe that was the compromise.
doesn't even look as if a car can pull into the so-called garage.
no, I think it's a bike shed at best.
It's 7 feet on the outside is you know, that's half a car. It's a shed or workshop or something, not a garage.
oh, God. Yeah.
So isn't it a guest house?
Probably.
Not supposed to be.
I know
No.
that. Isn't that what we're looking at though?
It says garage, but this is, everything about this is reading studio, whether it's, you know, an office or guest house. I don't know.
I believe, this
the
is
lobby.
Clement, last time we looked at it and there were plans for the second floor, it was set up as an office.
Mm-hmm.
And the basement was, I mean, the first floor was set up as car storage, garage, everything else storage. I don't believe there was that solid wall, or else I just don't remember, but
No, you're right.
Yes, I remember this is Rob. I remember the first, one of the first things, that second floor had a bathroom and a sink. It was a studio apartment.
yeah, so yeah, you're right. There's no bathroom, no kitchen,
So
no
there's
nothing.
nothing, yeah. And so kind of like what Agus is saying, this gets watered down into, okay, so it's a one-story building, and where's the garage? Where's the garage-ness of it? You're not, like Angus said, you're not going to put a car in 7 feet. So I don't know what the building is for then. Well, yes, I do, but so
I think if this is a one-story garage, fix up the one that's there, and then the whole thing is preserved, and change
And
the
it's
front
done.
door to a more desirable. I prefer these doors to the new replacements that exist.
Yeah.
But for this to widen by, it looks like 1 foot. It's kind of like off kilter. Why not just keep that south wall and run it all the way to the back and keep the existing? If they want to change the purpose of it and just have a shed on the front, put an interior partition, but they could still keep the existing envelope.
Yeah.
Yes, Angus, you're right. So they could keep the existing envelope and
leave it there. They not?
just leave it there. Ah,
A mess.
It's Mary. I think our comments are all pretty clear. I think we've covered this enough.
Sounds good.
I would tend to agree. Thank you,
Holly,
Mary.
what do you have?
Well, I've got the east looks good. Like the idea of using the old garage. But you like the this is from Mary. Liked the concept 3D better from this right here.
Yes.
Angus, you agree with the 3D. The shed dormer is better, more appealing. It faces west, but the old garage goes away. Oh yeah, and Mary, you indicated that most of the old garages have been updated along the area on Sankaty Road. Why does it have to be high? The elevation, no second floor. Why not keep the original structure? Old garage. I like this, Angus. Old garage is a hood ornament for the new garage.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Mary indicated that they'll demo 50% based on this. It's reading as a garage studio.
My question, I have a question, just in what we're looking at right now with the shed dormer over the garage doors is the west elevation
Facing the street.
facing the street. And that is not what we saw. Just saw, there was no shed dormer up there.
Correct. These are last week's drawings.
Okay, these are last week's drawings. So this is
No.
not what we're approving. We're
No,
commenting
this
on,
is what they're asking us
this
to
is
approve.
is what they're asking for. So they've taken off the whole second floor and lowered it and made it just a,
They did provide 3D drawings, but without that. Yeah.
now I'm with you.
Okay, so what you have up now, if I can just ask, is this week's proposal?
Yes. So this is the 3D rendering of the elevations we've been looking at.
Ah, okay.
Which just makes it not a second floor, because then the floor plan is just, oh, that's all just open space. No bathrooms, no nothing, no real garage.
Right.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
So
It says garage first floor plan. They don't have a second floor plan anymore because supposedly there's no second floor, but that seems ridiculous. Why go through this exercise?
mhm.
It must be a studio then, you think? Isn't that what he wanted, was an office?
He wanted
Yes.
an office.
Right.
And to Angus's point, if he just wants an office, let him do that with the existing garage.
Right.
If this is Rob, if that's what it's come back to, then make everybody happy and follow the old outline. Knowing, of course, that most of those studs are going to vanish and everything, but I mean,
You know,
if
why
tell-
have that shed dormer if there's nobody to look at it? I mean, it's just gonna be light through the one room below.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of is it's reading, yes, a proposed garage, but it's not, and it's an office, but with no amenities associated with it. And then this is a storage area that you access off the front. It's
and I think that it's okay that it's not a garage anymore, but it would be nice if it looked like what was there.
as far as I know we're spending a lot of time on the interior, but as far as the elevations go, what do you all think from the changes?
Does nothing for me.
Clement said it more eloquently than my I agree. It does nothing for me either.
And they seem to be losing a whole second floor for this kind of bland facade. So, you know, either you get, like Angus says, you go back to just the garage, the rectangle, forget all the roof line if you're not getting a second floor.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff behind the facade for there just being, it's just being a garage as labeled. It seems too high and too big of a roof plane facing the street for what.
If they're not getting anything
know,
for it, yeah. It's
Right.
just open timbers or whatever.
Right.
And Rob, to your point about the studs going away, there isn't any reason that if they need shoring up that they could get sistered. They can still stay in place.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If they want to.
Yeah. Right, Angus. That happens on Evelyn and Lily all the time, right?
That's also old Nantucket way.
I worked on a house in Codfish Park about 25 years ago, and the studs were horizontal.
Really?
Yeah. It was the old laundry, and I had to put a window in, and the studs went that way.
Wow.
Anyway, back to business.
Interesting.
We saw that at Heartsease too.
Really.
Yeah.
Huh.
the wall, the whole wall was about 1.5 inches thick.
Okay, are we good with this one at the moment?
Yep,
Yeah.
on to the Wilners.
All right.
All right,
Technical
thank you.
difficulties.
So we're moving on to item number 2. 10 Beach Street.
Yes, unfortunately, I gotta pull it off the internet. So apologies, something happened with the lovely PDF I had. I don't know what happened. Technology, you know.
Yes.
But of course, this is 10 Beach Street. This last went to you all last month, I believe.
Yep, this is the Wilners taking the shotgun house and making it go away and having that second house, that 2-story.
Yes.
And this is,
For the new building, although I will mention that the new building is supposed to track with the demo.
Right, good. Although they've cagily stuck the old building on the front, kind of, what was Angus's phrase again? It's the hood ornament. That's
Oh, there it is.
the north facade this time has the old shotgun as a hood ornament.
Ugh.
All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, here we go.
If the rest of the board members have their email up from Kadeem, you can access it there.
Mm-hmm.
But that means if you have 2 computers, you can anyway.
Gotta love multiple screens. All right.
Ugh.
what a mess.
Oh my God.
You want to take one elevation at a time?
Sure.
Oh, gosh.
Was this Sally's house?
Yes,
Okay.
Seidel. Wasn't it Seidel?
Yeah, she's Sheila's.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait, Sally Folger?
Yeah.
She
it
had
was-
this.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jackie Seidel.
Jackie Seidel. I thought hers was the house next door, but
That's
I could be
Jackie
wrong.
Slade.
Jackie Slade, yeah, okay. Too many Jackies.
The woods are full
Wow.
of them.
Well,
Ah.
Well, you go, I mean, the angle of the existing structure roof, and then you look at this big monster sitting right on top of it, squashing it all down.
I don't remember it being looking so much like Wolf's Head in the previous
Yeah.
submissions. It's looking very Victorian now, and I mean, the roof pitches are different, and which is fine. It's just I feel like I've just been punted.
I think you have.
Jeepers creepers.
Wow. I think it'd be great outside of Boston.
Well, but this
Or
had
even
to have
outside
been,
of Fish Park.
well,
Right.
it had to have been brought on by the idea that save the front.
Mm-hmm.
and then plop the house that they want right on top of it.
Is this a pre-made house?
Oh, I'm not implying that. I don't know,
No, I
Caroline.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I-
Okay.
No, I think these are full drawings, but it just feels like they've decided that they like that house that was designed originally. And then somebody said, well, save the front. So they put applied the front to what they wanted anyway.
Yeah. it just-
Good God, if you want to go to see the ocean, you can walk down to it.
yeah. Or it'll blow in those doors.
Well, there are other houses right next door, right in front of this one. So maybe you can't see the ocean from this house because of their own house.
Correct.
I don't know what to say about this. I'm at a loss for words. Do you think maybe they're just pushing to say, let's go back to the first one, which was the most,
I don't know who said it about this being kind of like the original proposal, but it makes me think that if we look back from the very beginning, and I haven't in a while, but it feels like there was a design in the very beginning, and there just hasn't been any. I mean, there have been a ton of changes, but they've been fairly superficial. And so now, most anywhere on the island, it's a perfectly fine design, but it's not at all like what's there. And what's there is, it's just kind of a ward on the front of the house, rather than sort of honoring the structure that's there and working with it.
And the thing that I find interesting is by adding the hood ornament of the original structure, they are showing us how vastly much larger this new house is going to be. And we said this in the very beginning, this is a game changer. You're taking smaller houses and then putting them on steroids, with these additions and changing the neighborhood.
Mary, I think you're right. As far as this puts in perspective a direct contrast between what was there and what they're looking to replace it with.
Thanks.
well, and also I've been looking at this north, which we're all looking at. So you've got the tiny little roof line, then you've got the big peak thing, then you've got the shed things, and then in the way back, you've got this roof, another pitched roof that's going the other way. It's very bulky.
It's like when they built the George Washington Bridge over the little red lighthouse on the Hudson River. I mean, there's a skyscraper. there's a skyscraper behind this terrific piece of Codfish Park fabric.
Yeah. So I think the summation is we're really not impressed.
Hi. It's Rob. I think you're right, and this if they feel like this is a focus, the owners or the proponents, I just say, well, it is a focus, and we have a big problem with it. I mean, that part of Codfish Park is a neighborhood within a neighborhood. You've got the whole vista of Middle Gully Road. Behind you is what was left of Codfish Park, but the ocean took it away. And now you've got a Wolf's Head Victorian, which should be up on the bluff.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
That's too big. Just too big.
I mean, my question is, when's it gonna stop? They just keep coming back at us until what? We get tired of them and say, oh, yes, and go away, please.
Is there a limit to the number of times they can bring back drawings of the
No.
same?
No.
No.
apparently not.
I
No.
just want, it just seems to me it's like it should be 3 times and then wait a year.
I don't believe that would be in line with the HDC's legislation.
Okay. Well, then no. I don't think this.
If this is an example of the kind of things that we're all supposed to be doing, being conscientious and everything, it doesn't work.
Mhm. It doesn't even try to work, though. I think that's what I
Right.
find more discouraging is that it doesn't try to fit into Codfish Park. And the bungalows and the little houses and the, you said it, Deborah.
And what the little houses say about
Mm-hmm.
the people who lived in them and what that represents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's even a paragraph in the guidebook, the Designing of Nantucket, but it's just,
There's a section in Building with Nantucket in Mind that talks about the scale of Codfish Park, which has been emphasized to the agent on this application.
okay. Well, then
So-
I would say it's still out of scale.
Yeah. See page, whatever.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ugh. Let's see.
It's our new business.
Our other business,
Mhm.
19 Broadway, I had asked Kadeem, and well, you had asked too, to have this be on a matter of discussion. And did you all get the photographs I sent?
Yes.
Yeah, that was excellent, Rob. And I rode by it just, you
Yeah.
know, an hour ago. It is Willow Harp. That house
is
is
Willow
Willow.
Harp.
Harp. And yeah, how did that get approved? I mean, it looks like they're showing their underwear outside the cottage.
Was it applied for? Was it approved?
It was, I remember it because we
Yeah.
rented Willow Harp. At the approval, as I recall, they had shown the piping and the wiring going down and not in a bundle, and going right down the middle of the facade. And Angus very smartly said, well, let's bundle it all and put it together and go down the edge of the eave. And then they were supposed to enclose it in one of those nice wooden boxes like gutters are placed in sometimes. And it seemed they did go down the main eave, but they forgot the enclosure. And I don't know what you do with the machine that actually powers this thing, if you can cover it with a trellis or camouflage it somehow. But it seems a lot of these little houses are getting these machines so they can get some air conditioning.
Sure.
I have the file that was approved. I'm just having very much difficult with Zoom at the moment. I don't know what the deal is. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Yeah, there was it wasn't a corner board, but there was a fascia board that was vertical. So it's not a fascia board then, but it was where the two roofs intersected and came down.
Yeah.
And I remember Angus had said, well, it'd be nice to move it over.
And so it
I-
came down.
Yeah.
to box it in there. But this goes along the top of the sill, and it's horrible. And I don't remember that big unit being part of the application. The air conditioning unit itself, I thought it was smaller or something. Anyway, you know, it's right in the right of way too.
Can you see these?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
It was not, I didn't think you all were going to be able to see it, but this is the application that was approved. Also, I don't know if they've called in for a final inspection. So, you know, that's another thing. My
Yeah.
understanding, looking at the file, that it's not been signed off by myself or Kathy, who did, and, you know, of course, we work with the building inspectors too to help us out, but nobody signed off on this yet. So here's what was approved.
Holly, can you hold on that photo?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we made our recommendation to use that corner board where it goes from the front structure to the back structure and just follow down there, what did the HDC do with it?
What you're seeing is what they approved. So here's the approval stamp. So what is here is what they were supposed to be doing.
And so,
It isn't at all.
so
No,
all the stuff coming down on the right side, that southeast corner, it's spec'd for having to be boxed,
And it's
but it's
It's
all
not.
exposed.
And it may just take us to send a notice to the contractor to say, hey, you're not finished.
And there was nothing called for screening, any fencing or something to cover it?
yeah, that side.
That's the water heater. And I apologize, I was not at this meeting, so I'm not intimate
Well.
to this application.
What is that you're showing? What is the grid?
We're not doing that, that's for sure.
Example
example.
of cedar trellis covering the AC unit.
They have not covered the AC unit.
So that leads me to believe that they just have not completed the job. It's not satisfactory. It has not been signed off. It would have to be to the way it was approved.
And what was the date, Holly, that it was approved?
February.
February of this year.
Looks like February, yep.
Well, COVID. So they better get back there.
And also, hi, this is Rob, in that screen right there.
Yeah.
There's one unit that's hanging off the wall, as you can see from the photographs. And there they show two that are sort of closer to the ground. The one that's hanging off the wall is, you know,
Unbelievable.
it's big.
It's big.
Holly, can you scroll up just a little bit so I can see the notes underneath the house there? With cedar lattice casing.
No casing there.
And it's on the ground.
It's just not finished.
Correct.
And it's also not on the ground.
No, it's midway up the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and it says right there in the middle on the bottom, no exterior changes without HDC approval, and it's different.
that's why we have that process. But just so you
Yeah.
all know, if you're not familiar with it, you know, it's up to the contractor, the applicant, the agent, whomever that's associated with the application when they're ready to let us know,
Yep.
you know, to do the inspection. So we don't just,
Yep.
can't just go out there willy-nilly. But in this case, you know, you all brought it to our attention. We can contact the contractor and say, hey, what's going on here? You're not finished as approved. We need to fix this. So
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank-
that's great, Holly. Thanks. And also, you know, they must have been in a big rush to get in there, and they probably said, just get it hooked up so that when we're there, and we'll fix it afterwards.
More than likely, that was probably the case.
Okay, thank you. And then I've lost my screen. There it is. 36 Main Street, the Marconi building. Caroline had asked if, I remember the application. It was a very well researched. The whole thing was great, but I think we thought, correct me if I'm wrong, board, that they were going to put the sign was going to go back basically where it had been, which was more in front of the house. And like, I tried to get a picture of it also to help us out, but I almost got rear-ended by a truck and a UPS truck and 2 bikes. So I just kept going. But it's sort of in the corner and it's behind a bush. Am I correct, Caroline?
Yes. I think the sign, to me, should be where it's always been. It was a historic marker put up by the NHA. You have that photograph, Rob,
Yep.
Of whoever was director, and the presentation. It was on a post so that when you rode your bike down Main Street, that was you had it and you thought, wow, all those years ago, isn't that fabulous? And that's what we deserve today, was what was there. I don't think it's owned by a person. I think it's owned by the community. And I don't think putting it in somebody's yard behind is just a way to treat history in Sconset.
And especially that piece of history.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought that was, I can remember when Sarah was little, so we'd talk about that and say, wow, this is amazing. Not that anybody knows what it is now, but. Tony.
I do.
Holly, what is the, what happens in a situation like this? Are the property owners able to do anything? Are they obligated to keep the sign or keep the sign in a particular location?
I don't know. I'd have to find that out. When that project went before you all, was there any discussion of that existing sign?
I think it was just about the house.
It was.
Yes, it was. And I think it was Caroline that brought up the question of the sign itself. And I think it was, I think the replacement of it was instigated by this board. Am I correct?
Okay.
Caroline?
That was my memory. Because first somebody said, oh, well, they put it on their mantle. And then somebody else said, oh, well, it's on the porch. And so now out to the board. But that's not what I meant. I meant the sign the way it was, that was on the side of the road.
Yep. I'm looking for the photo. I'm going to send it to Holly if I find it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If that sign was put up by the NHA, I could reach out to the NHA to see, they are the one who probably commissioned it. They're the ones who paid for it to put up. Just because, the property itself changed hands, it is a marker to a historic site. If you all, talked about it during your review, I don't know if that transpired through the HDC. Really, I think it would be a discussion to have with the NHA and the property owner for the importance of it.
Gotcha.
Do any of you know the owners of the house?
No.
A little, very little.
Would you feel comfortable asking them what their intention is with it, if they would be amenable to it returning to its original location, if they're deliberately trying to hide the sign? I mean,
I sincerely doubt that they are, but yeah, I mean, I can ask. I think that they've been very attuned to the historic nature of the house, and I'm not actually sure that that's the original sign. I think they might have I don't know where the sign went, but I have a feeling that they were responsible enough to make sure that a sign went back. That's my recollection, because I think I did talk with her last summer to say, where's the sign? And she said, no, don't worry. It's, you know, we've got a sign. We want to, you know, commemorate that history.
Maybe they're not aware that there's interest in the community for preserving its location and existence.
Sure. If they're still here, I mean, she's got school-age kids, so they may have already gone back to San Francisco, but because I didn't see her today, I normally see her in the mornings at the casino, but I can stop and ask. That's not a problem.
And I have spoken to Betsy and said that I had hoped that the Sconset Trust, as part of their interest in preservation, would help with putting documentation back, and the sign in particular, I thought was important to retain. And not on the house or anything, but the way it was as a historic.
Thank you, Rob, for the picture.
You're welcome. I just sent Holly a picture of the original sign, and I have a picture somewhere of the new one, and it's just fine, I think, but it just needs to be a little more prominent.
So it's not visible. I tried looking for it going out that way and I couldn't see it. So.
Yeah, it's kind of tucked in the corner of the lot, the northeast corner.
What I see is
I'll ask-
with a perpendicular sign, a sign that's perpendicular to the road, the way it was.
Parallel.
It would be perpendicular to the road.
Perpendicular.
Oh, right. Thank you. I usually don't use that word before noon, so I was confused.
Not enough coffee?
No coffee.
Rob, you
Holly,
have one more minute to get ready.
could you share those photos with us, Holly?
Yeah,
Yes.
please.
Yeah,
Thank
I can send that
Well,
to you.
I have an entire file here on this whole thing because Caroline and I were working on it. I'd be happy to forward it all to you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
How about that?
Would help.
Yeah.
I can remember it, but that's not accurate.
Yeah, got it. All right.
Okay.
I guess we're good. Hey,
We're
Yep.
good. If
Can
we
we
could have a
back next-
motion to approve. I'm sorry.
Can
yes.
we bring this back next week? In other words, to be continued.
To be continued. Yes.
You
And,
want both of them to be continued for next week?
Yes, I do. I don't know how other people feel.
why don't we? Yes, Holly. Let's put it back on the agenda, please. And if there's nothing new about it, we can continue to, or not, as we see fit. But as long as it gets on the agenda, so the public knows that we're, so that we're doing the right thing here. So.
Well,
Sounds
it
good.
seems to me that the Broadway house, Willow Harp, we don't have anything to say about that until they declare that they are finished with the project. I mean, and ask for an inspection or something.
Staff will reach out. We'll reach out to the contractor to find out what their
Okay.
intention is. Are they done? It clearly is not. Let us know. Because again, at the end of the day, they need us to sign off on that, and
Yeah.
it's not sufficient. So
It's not only done, but it's not, they didn't follow in practice. It had been approved. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and hi, it's Rob. We get Holly. We get people stop us in the street, and we get phone calls and stuff. So, so we aren't like dumping on the HDC. We're responding, and also we see stuff ourselves and go, "Wait a minute." So, this is all good, and I'm glad there's a process, and we'll keep at it.
understood. Get
And then
it?
Holly, let me ask one more question quickly, because the Sconset Civic Association has requested the DPW repair the North Gully Road. And the Sconset Civic Association reached out to me, and I reached out to Rob and Mary, not in an official way, but just in a casual way, what ideas were about this and how we should we ask neighbors? Should we ask, I don't know, whatever. And before I would go back to the Civic Association with any recommendations that we would have, I'd rather have kind of an official opinion from everybody about what is the best way to repair the Little North Gully. The DPW came in and has paved the bottom portion of North Gully. They did that over the winter, and they put in a kind of a curb, and that I'm sure is due to runoff, water runoff, and was going in the neighbors. I have no idea, but the Civic Association said that they initiated this, and because they have a wish list with the DPW. So this is a result of that wish list. And so it's kind of like, it's nice of the DPW to ask, well, if you want us to redo it, what would you like? So I'm passing that along. So I don't know if that should be part of an agenda item or.
Any type of discussion should be on an agenda item, but I just want to, caveat this is you got to remember what your purview is as an advisory board to the HDC.
And this has nothing to do with that.
Exactly. So from your perspective, I would recommend if you could email me that, and I can touch base with Rob, as a colleague of mine, and we can go forward on that direction.
Could I ask Caroline? My understanding of having the re-energized Preservation Commission was that no work would be done with approval. DPW work would not be done the way the DPW always did, was, fixing it the way they thought it should be fixed, but not with approval. And I don't know where this fits into that.
I would have to look into that, but yes, you are correct that they are looking for preservation goals and objectives for the town. There's movement in that direction, shall I say, which is good. So again, we're kind of skating on the fact that this is about something that's not on the agenda. So I just want to be careful on that.
So it could be on the.
I hesitated to bring it up, but I don't want to say anything to the Sconset Civic Association, and because I can't. I mean, it's not their deal. So not our deal.
Clement, send me an email, and this is definitely something that would be a discussion, I think, for the Historical Commission, as Caroline mentioned.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank you all.
that's great. Okay, everybody.
We approve.
Motion to adjourn. I see people have.
Yeah.
Can we approve the comments, please, if you wouldn't mind?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I make a motion to approve the comments.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you, Caroline Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you both. Okay, Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes.
Thank you, Angus.
Yes.
Clement Durkis.
Yes.
Rob Enchley, yes. Unanimous. And now I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, thank you. And all in favor, Caroline Ellis.
Yes. Yes.
Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes.
Angus.
Aye.
Thank you, Clement Durkis.
Yes.
And Rob says yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Sorry
Rob.
to hold
Thank you,
up.
Rob.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.